What's going on, guys? Patrick here, bringing you a brand new video. Today we're going to do the killer video for you guys, full of information. Today we're going to be going over the Bitcoin price action going on right now. We're going to be looking at the potential of an altcoin season, as well as apparently Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse suing YouTube. We're going to be covering all that, as well as tons of other news that went on in the cryptocurrency space. So make sure you guys stay tuned all the way until the end of the video to make sure you guys don't miss anything. But as always, if you guys are interested in making money with crypto, make sure you check out the first link in the description or the first link in the comments for the cryptocurrency trade alert group. I post every single one of the trades that myself and my team enter, so that if you're a complete beginner, if you don't have time to do technical analysis or you don't know how to do technical analysis, you can copy our exact trades. It takes 2 to 3 minutes to set up, and after that, profits are taken automatically for you. So it becomes very, very passive. We have altcoin trades, we have leverage trades, and we have the #1 community in the cryptocurrency space, full of people ready and able to answer any questions that you might have 24/7. A lot of people find this a great place where you can meet like-minded individuals and trade a lot of ideas in our community as well. Like I mention every time, we do still have a free trial for 14 days, 2 weeks of free trial, so that you can go in here risk-free and see if this is a community for you, and this is something, if this is something that you want to be a part of. If you decide that this is not something you want to be a part of and you don't want to be here anymore, that's totally okay. You can simply cancel and you will avoid getting charged. It's as easy as that. So a lot of you guys have already joined. I'd love to see a lot of you guys in there. A lot of you guys have already benefited from it. So if that's you, again, congratulations. And for those of you who haven't, I can't wait to see the rest of you in there. But let's get started with some technical analysis, because I know you guys do love to go over what's been going on. Now, I will say the last few days, starting this weekend where we had lower volume, obviously the weekends have lower volume, and we tend to see the risk of more manipulation going on during that time. We did notice that, and then leading up Monday, Tuesday, and now Wednesday, Bitcoin's price action before obviously this recent pump that we had been relatively slow and sort of boring and very unpredictable to me as well, has been the price of Bitcoin. And so for that, we've, at least myself and my team, have chosen to be a lot more cautious with everything that we do, and we have to do what the market gives us. There are some months where everything's great, we're killing it all the time, just trades every single day, tons of profit rolling in. And there are times, obviously, where things are a little slower. We have to be a little more cautious. We have to, take a little less risk, because Bitcoin doesn't give us a lot and the market's just not giving us a lot. And so some months obviously end up being slower. The important part when it comes to succeeding in any market, and this is just before we dive into the price action, patience. Long-term views and patience are going to win you the game. Most people lose because they focus so much on the day-to-day action, so much on what happened 1 week or 1 month. They don't think about it in the big picture, and they end up losing. They never make any money. That's majority of the time, that is the reason. So don't be that guy. Don't fall for that. Obviously, don't do what the majority of people do. We want to obviously differentiate and actually make money in the markets. But let's go back into the price action. So you'll notice several times on this resistance that I've drawn, we have rejected over and over and over again. This is the smaller time frame, the 4-hour. We've rejected several times off of this, and again, recently having this pump coming up very close to our resistance, closer to the $7,200 mark. Now, if you were to ask me directly, what do I think is going to happen in the short term? It's pretty clear right now, right? We looked for a potential breakout from here. That's one thing we had to watch out for, but we can notice as well what looks like we could be happening now that we are up into this range is a potential drop back down to the $7,000, and then potentially even lower from that as well. That's just on the shorter time frame, but you'll notice on the 4-hour, the EMA ribbon for a while now has been very, very tight. And you guys know, if you've been following the channel for some time, I use the EMA ribbon to indicate if we're in a bullish or a bearish trend. If we're above the EMA ribbon, we're usually on a bullish trend, and if we're below, we are usually on a bearish trend. Now, that works a lot better when the EMA ribbon looks something like this. Once we have this tight EMA ribbon, it gets a lot harder for us to tell the exact direction, what the trend is looking like. So when this happens, I choose to stay away from using that indicator. Just a little bit of an insight, or I use that indicator to tell me that there is no clear bull or bearish trend at the moment. We obviously broke above it, so let's see if it does maintain above or if it is going to come back down and test breaking below. To me, like I said, so the resistance that we have up here and the support that we have down here, I might have worded that wrong in the beginning. Either way, you guys get what I'm trying to say. Sometimes I mess up my words when I'm recording a video, but that's okay, because the main gist, the general point still makes sense. So let's keep an eye out on that if we do come back down into the 7,000s, maybe even a little bit lower, and then we'll see if we break up below that again, or if we do see a bounce and getting closer and closer into the end of this pattern that we are looking at. You will notice as well on the bigger time frame, if we zoom out into the daily, it's important for us to look at as well. We did not break above, again, the resistance is there. We did not break above the EMA ribbon on the daily. Still waiting to see if we do break above. If we break above this pattern, very, very bullish. If we break above the EMA ribbon on the daily time frame, very, very bullish, right? We can expect to see some very solid price action. I've already seen articles saying that we could even hit $10,000 by May, and they're basing that off of obviously breaking above these patterns and start seeing some more bullish action. So that's what I see on the daily time frame as well. You'll notice this big trend line that we've had down, the big resistance that we had down that touched several times before. We did break above that, and now what people are looking at as well is the potential retouch, which we have all the time, retouch the resistance that's now support, and then a rejection off of that. But again, very strong resistance at this level. It'll be very, very big for Bitcoin if it does break above this. Very, very big on the short term in terms of seeing more and more bullish price action. You'll also notice this rectangle that I drew previously here acted as some strong support, and now we've entered into this range again, acting as very strong resistance. You see, we basically bounced 3 times in this range and then had that huge move to the upside. If we break above this pattern again, similar thing. Not only are we breaking above the EMA ribbon on the daily, which is a big thing, we're also breaking above this strong resistance. We can expect to see Bitcoin see some very nice price action back up to the high 7,000s, maybe even the 8,000s. One thing at a time. Obviously 10,000 is not going to be a quick jump to 10,000, but 8,000, 8,500 might be might be just a few green candles away if we do see a move above that. A lot of people eyeing this level as well, so you want to keep that in mind for yourself. You will also notice that Bitcoin did on the 4-hourly time frame, which is usually what we look at, close the futures gap that was created over here, the CME futures gap created over there. You'll notice we came up and we closed it with this wick over here. So another thing that we saw happen, we obviously love to see these these CME, why do I keep saying EMA? These CME gaps fill. We like to see these CME gaps fill. We usually see them filled sooner rather than later. We talked about this when it first happened, I believe. We usually try to touch on as many of these as possible, but as you guys know, we keep an eye out on this because usually we fill it. Usually we fill it pretty fast, and we want to keep an eye out to capitalize on those moves. And from there, obviously it got rejected, and then here we are seeing the most recent pump trying to break the resistances that we talked about before. So with that said, I get a lot of people asking me all the time where it is that I trade. So Bybit, you guys can go ahead. There's a link down below that's going to give you some free money as a bonus if you do sign up using the link down below. If you already have an account but you want to claim the money, that's okay. You can open a new account and claim that anyways. It's very, very simple, but this is what I use in order to trade, in order to leverage trade for my positions. And that's what most people are using. So if you guys want a good place to go to, a pretty solid place, links down below in the description, you can go ahead and join that. Now, something else I wanted to cover in terms of cryptos, altcoins. We usually look at Bitcoin price action. That's totally normal. That's totally okay. It's the big one. That's what most people look at. But altcoins, to me right now, are in a very interesting place. Bitcoin dominance is down to 64.4% right now. On the weekly, you'll notice we've been dropping slowly and slowly. We did find some support here previously, and it looks like we could be seeing a bounce from here. So to me, I'm keeping an eye out on right now. I'm keeping an eye out for slowly starting to see some altcoins move. Starting to see them pick up a little bit. Altcoins have been relatively slow recently. You guys know the last few months, weeks, it hasn't done what Bitcoin's done, but it's usually lagging a little bit behind Bitcoin. So let's see exactly how that does play out. Usually shortly after Bitcoin hit its peak during the big bull run, after that, altcoins hit their peak. So it's a little bit of a lagging, so like I said, it is a little more lagging to Bitcoin. It does lag a little bit behind Bitcoin. So that's something to keep an eye on as well. And that's something I'm going to be seriously looking at. Like I said, more altcoin positions, more potential gains in altcoins, because altcoins, although we can't leverage all of them, so we can't trade that the way we do Bitcoin. There is a lot of opportunities if you're in the right altcoins, because a lot of them have low volume, and they can move very, very fast. And again, I get asked this all the time, but I use 3 commas in order to manage my altcoin positions. A very good platform, very cheap if you're taking your crypto seriously. It's very cheap to be able to monitor everything from one place. They have trading bots. They allow you to set up positions in there as well. And it's a very easy place to monitor. And then I talk about this more in a video Friday, so stay tuned for that. But I do get this question as well. ExpressVPN is the VPN I use to keep everything that I do safe, especially if you're using public Wi-Fi. It's not about it. Not only does it allow you to change your position, and it allows you to access some exchanges and stuff that I know a lot of people use that to access some exchanges, but you also get to keep, even if you are just using it on a public Wi-Fi, you are keeping your information safe, because I found out it's very, very easy to get people's information, to hack accounts on public Wi-Fis and on Wi-Fis in general. So I use this pretty much all the time, just to make sure that I'm safe. Now, before we dive into some crypto news, look also what's happening in the traditional markets. Even on the EMA ribbon here, a strong rejection came in on the daily time frame. A strong rejection came in from the $24,200 mark. Strong rejection. Now it's at 23.5. Let's see how this does play out, because I don't know if I believe that the worst is already over, or if I believe that everything is just good and it's going up for now. Do I believe it's going to be a shorter recession than we had previously, a shorter drop than we had previously? Yes, given the circumstance and how everything's moving. I expect it's not going to last years and years. That's why I think it's going to provide good opportunities, and why I've talked about it a lot in the past. But I do also think that there might still be some opportunities in the coming weeks to get in at some very reasonable prices. So keep an eye out on that if you guys want a less risky investment. Obviously, the traditional markets, to me and to most people, it just is less risky than crypto. It's much bigger. It's been around for a lot longer. It's got a lot more price history. It's got a lot more just history to it, right? It is a less risky investment if you're just talking about that. So a less risky opportunity for people. Again, I've talked about it a lot just because of the opportunity we're being given with how much it's fallen and how I believe it's going to recover in a much shorter period of time. Keep an eye out on that as well. But Bitcoin is up 4% today. That means very clearly most altcoins are up as well. There hasn't been too much crypto news recently, but you will notice that there has been some information coming out from the giant Grayscale, which obviously is showing that investors have poured, institutional investors have poured almost $500 million into Bitcoin and Ethereum, as the crypto fund executive declares cat's out of the bag. So something else to notice as well, institutional investors pouring money in, as obviously a good sign. We've been hearing about this for some time, more and more news coming out of that. Nothing major, but it doesn't hurt at all. Also some news from Ripple, which said that it came into Bit Casino, which is going to be used, it's going to be used for speedy transfer at low fees, but that's not the interesting news for Ripple. This is. Brad Garlinghouse tweeted, across the industry, social media companies have failed to police their platforms from being abused by the entirely preventable imposter giveaway scams. Hundreds of people, including some of you, have been hurt, yet big tech institutions drag their feet. Today, Ripple and I personally are taking legal action against YouTube because their platform is the epicenter for imposter scams, and they've done next to nothing in response to our constant takedown requests. I'm sure you guys have seen this around live streams where, it says Elon Musk is giving away Bitcoin, or it says Vitalik is giving away Bitcoin or Ethereum. Whatever it is, we're seeing a lot of these imposter scams pretending to be other people, even on Instagram. On YouTube is the main one. Obviously, comments are filled with scams. We see a bunch of live streams that are fake, completely fake, trying to get people to send them Ethereum. All of that's happening for a very long time, and nobody's done much about it. And we've said it over and over again. A lot of people have said it over and over again, but it's going to be interesting to see how exactly this is handled, but two, if this is going to cause any issues for crypto content on these social media platforms. So I'm going to keep you guys updated with everything that goes on. This is just the beginning. It was tweeted April 21st at 1:35 p.m. my time. So it has not been a long time. It hasn't even been one day. And this is going to be probably a relatively lengthy process, because lawsuits never are over that fast. Hopefully it is, and hopefully it gets sorted easily and there's no big issues. But I do think there could be some other things that come out of this as well. So let's see exactly how this works out. Thank you so much for watching, guys. As always, Friday, Very interesting video talking about mistakes that people make that are losing them money. So if you guys want to avoid those mistakes, make sure you guys check out that video on Friday. Make sure you are subscribed with your notifications turned on so you guys can check back in for that video. And as always, leave a thumbs up and leave a comment down below letting me know what you thought of this video. Let me know what you think is going on in the crypto space, if we're going up, if we're going down, and let me know any questions or any future videos that you guys want to see as well. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys on Friday for another video.